Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. How you guys doing today? Hope you're having a good day. If you're not, stick with us. We're known to put smiles on people's faces as we connect with everybody all around the world internationally with our entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. We're approaching some 900 episodes, which I absolutely can't believe. And I thank each and every one of you for all of your love, support, all of the fabulous messages that you send our way, and all the Instagram and Twitter and Facebook posts about our show and all the support. Those of you who have been doing super chat, super emoji, super stickers in our JMS Lovity chat room, those of you who have just been sharing in what we do here is absolutely fantastic. So we welcome the JMS Lovity family. That's those who watch us religiously, faithfully all the time, usually live. And then we have those who catch us a little bit later on when the show is archived, because we do archive all of the shows. We encourage you and welcome you to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to comment on the episodes underneath each episode. Give us a subscribe, click that subscribe button. I think in some graphic changes, graphics meaning fonts and CG and things of that nature, they changed, I think, the red subscribe button. It looks like it's now black. So whatever you see on your iPhone or your whatever cell phone you have, Android or iPhone, or your television, because sometimes you can actually see YouTube on television. Also on your iPad, your PC, your computer, whatever it is, however you watch our show, the subscribe button is there. Just look for the word subscribe, and whether that button is red or black, click it. It helps us grow. And thanks to the thousands of you who have done that, the thousands of subscribers we have to this channel, we welcome and appreciate every single one of you. It takes a village. It really does, as we continue to grow and expand. Gang, we are live right now, and we've got an amazing guest who is a prolific and award-winning noted singer, songwriter, producer as well. He's a brilliant pianist, and he's involved with a fabulous song for a fabulous reason, autism research and awareness. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. We're welcoming, by way originally of New England, USA. He is originally from the beautiful state of Maine, but he makes his home and his career in Nashville, Tennessee, which has really become like Music City, USA. We're talking about Tony Mantor, singer, songwriter, pianist, and producer. He is also, in addition to that, CEO and producer at Plateau Music. He is in Nashville. He's going to join us in just a second. He's amazing at what he does. And we're going to ask him about this. Isn't this a really cool photo, everybody? We're going to talk about this, what this means, but he's really, really a prolific producer. He's worked with some of the best. Matter of fact, some of the guests we've had on the Jim Masters Show live series have actually worked with Tony, like Debbie Campbell, daughter of Glenn Campbell, who's a big friend of our show. Tony is an American singer, songwriter, pianist, and producer. His career spans from the late 1970s, performing as an artist and touring sideman, to the present, consulting and working on shows with legendary performers. In the studio, he has produced both emerging and established artists, and when time allows, his own personal music. As an artist, Tony has had multiple nationwide releases. He has charted in the United States, trade magazines such as Billboard, Gavin, and Cashbox. He has also charted internationally in Europe and the UK. This success led him to Nashville. Since the move, he has produced and developed many aspiring singers, helping them pursue their musical dreams. 2005, his production and development company, Plateau Music, became an independent record label, releasing select singers to radio and country, R&B, AC, pop, and jazz, soft rock genres of music. During the next 15 years, Tony produced 40 nationally charted records, 33 of them reaching the top 40, and several going top 10. Some other highlights of the past 15 years include, from 2005 to 2009, several successful records in the country charts, with one reaching number 21 in Music Row. It was the highest rated single by an independent label and producer at the time, a record that's still unbroken for 11 years. 2006, Tony was part of The Session Players, an in-studio documentary outlining the Nashville recording process and the creative interaction between the musicians and the producers. And from 2012 to 2020, he produced and managed legendary R&B singer Jackie Wilson's son, Bobby Wilson, with 4 top 10 adult contemporary hits, the last being a top 40 media-based Hot AC hit in 2019. In 2015, he produced former Atlantic Records star Ryla Mason, whose record Dark Horse was one of the biggest hit songs of 1997, and with her song Run Like a Girl, had a dual chart hit with a top 40 in country and top 10 in the pop charts. 2015, he also had productions reaching radio in the UK and parts of Europe with tremendous success. Since creating Plateau Music UK, he has also continued to release wonderful music to radio, which has created touring opportunities for the artists. 2017, he started production on a tribute to Glenn Campbell with his daughter, Glenn's daughter, Debbie Campbell, who performed with Glenn for over 24 years on the road. If you didn't see the episode when she was on our show, Debbie Campbell, make sure you check that episode out because it is absolutely fantastic. We had a great conversation. We had lots of laughs. Yeah, Glenn Campbell's daughter, the wonderful Debbie Campbell, was a guest on our show. You can check that episode out. Tell you a little more about our illustrious guest who's joining us here on the Jim Masters Show Live series. He also recorded a CD and hosted a documentary following Tom Cole, a singer who honored his songwriting brother Eugene Cole, who unfortunately lost his life in the line of duty as a Somerset County deputy sheriff. In 2019, he signed a production deal with Happy Days star Donnie Most. Don was also a guest on the Jim Masters Show Live series. Check that episode out. It's archived on a YouTube channel. He has won 2 awards in the UK for artist management and for the label, 2 awards for artist management in 2020 as well. In 2021, 5th award for management in the UK, and 2022, the 6th as well. Many of his artists have been on the Grammy ballots with their songs. Tony has been on the Grammy ballot 4 times for Producer of the Year. He's also produced songs that have reached the top 40 in national charts and lots more. He continues to record select singers, several radio releases scheduled as well. And in 2021, he released a country version of Why Not Me, paying tribute to our first responders. That song hit the top 10 at country radio in the US, reaching number 2 at terrestrial radio and number 1 in the streaming radio charts. Why Not Me was well received radio in the UK and parts of Europe as well. There's a video version that's available that's been viewed by many. A new touring show in 2022 featuring select TV stars and singers from the 70s and 80s, and an adult contemporary version of Why Not Me released to help raise autism awareness, acceptance, and understanding throughout the world. He's been a busy beaver, to say the least. I thought I was busy. Yeah, he really is an amazing guy, and it's a real pleasure to have him here on the show. So, gang, that's a little bit about our very special guest, Tony Mantor, who's joining us again live and direct from Nashville, Tennessee. Now, gang, if you would like to comment in the JMS Live Lovity chat room, which is open and available right now, and I see lots of comments already there, just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do it right now. It doesn't cost anything. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel, and you can partake right now, chat with each other, say hello to one another, and say hello to us and our guest. Just chat in that room right now, that lovely chat room that's open and available for you, for everybody when you subscribe. It's a gift for the subscribers of our YouTube channel. All right. He is waiting in the wings. We're so excited to have him here, coming to us again from Nashville, Tennessee. Award-winning singer, songwriter, producer, pianist extraordinaire, the one and only Tony Mantor is here. Tony, welcome to the show. It's good to have you with us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You've been busy. You've been busy.
After that introduction.
Yeah, I was going to say. That was just scratching really the surface of what you do. You grew up in the beautiful state of Maine in northern New England. What were those early influences for you up in Maine that maybe turned you on to music?
Well, I was born and raised on a dairy farm in Maine, and I was just living, the simple life like everybody does in Maine, and we had an old piano that was just beaten up in our house, and I would go over and play on it and just hammer away and everything. And my mother finally said, well, if you're gonna play on it, we might as well teach you how to play it. So we got new ivories, got it tuned up, and got a guy in there just to refurbish the whole thing. And then she started sending me to get lessons, and from there I just kept on, and that's kind of how it started.
Wow. So you got the lessons, and then what happened from there? How did the opportunities start coming for you? And uh, were there multiple instruments that you were learning, or was it just really the piano, the true love for you early on?
Just the piano. Um, I took and I started at 8 years old learning how to play the piano, and then I took 6 or 7 years of lessons from my piano teacher, and finally we got to the point where she said, I can have you come back here, but you really kind of reached the peak of where I can take you. So I knew that I wanted to be a performer. That's kind of what I would set my goals on. So I didn't want to be a teacher or anything like that. So I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston for a
Great
while,
school.
just
Yeah.
to take and learn some improv, and just select classes, but not to get a degree, because that really wasn't where I wanted to go. And so once I did that and everything, I graduated high school and I joined a band locally, and just started growing from there.
So what kind of music were you playing with the band? What was your music of choice?
Well, I grew up listening to, Creedence and all those kind of 60s and 70s stars, um, and and when I was in high school, I had lots of friends of my family and everything was into country, old school country, and so I actually would go up and play with them for a while, just because I enjoyed music. I didn't really have any one style that I just loved. I loved it
Yeah.
all, because
Yeah.
the more I got into it, the more I leaned towards the Creedence Clearwater Revivals, and those styles of music. But so I kind of lean more to the pop, but I grew an appreciation for all styles, and when I got out of school, I joined this band that was kind of a top 40 band, and they were all much older than I was, but I learned a lot from them, and I wound up performing with them for several years before I actually started going to Nashville and learning some different things, and it's a very fond memory.
That's fantastic. So Nashville, when did Nashville call your name and say, "Hey, Maine is beautiful. Got
Uh,
Casco Bay, you've got, County
that's right.
Bunkport, Portland with its cobblestone streets. You got a lot of beautiful things there in Maine, but Nashville is where you need to be."
Well, this is quite a story, actually. Um, my mother saw someone that had been to Nashville, or was in the music business and wanted to go to Nashville, I think. And so he made the local paper. And so my
Wow.
mother said, "Oh, you got to reach out to him. You got to reach out to him,
When
because
somebody made the local paper, that was big time.
yeah." So I wound up meeting that guy, and then he had friends that were country songwriters, and they called me up one day and they said, "Would you consider taking us to Nashville?" And I was really entrenched into the pop music top 40 at the time, and they didn't really have good transportation. And I swear that this is what I said to him. I said, "Why would I want to go to that hick town?" Because I perceived Nashville as this country hick town, and they said, "Oh yeah, but it's great." And so I took him down, and then when I got just outside of Nashville, I looked at it. I'm going, "Wow, Nashville's no different than any other city. It's steel and concrete, and so we walked Music Row just like everybody did, and I guess I was very fortunate, because I got to see the seedier side of Nashville, but that would offer you, things that were too good to be true.
Mm,
And the good thing about being born and raised by farmers is that if it's too good to be true, it usually is.
Right.
So
That
that
sort
was
of New
entrenched.
England Yankee skepticism. Right.
Exactly. So I didn't bite, so I left, and then we went back down again because they actually had a legitimate publisher that was interested in publishing some of their songs. So so I went down with them again, took them down, and we went into the studio and was going to record these country songs that they had written. And the piano player didn't show up for some reason. There was a miscommunication or something. And because back then you didn't have cell phones, you could punch on the phone
Right.
and say, "Hey, where are you? Get over here."
Yeah.
So
You had to
the
look for a
guy,
payphone and have a dime or a quarter.
yeah, exactly. So the guys, they said, "Hey," they pointed at me. He can play piano. So the producer said, "Hey, you want to earn a few bucks?" I said, "Sure." So I wound up, playing with some of the best session players in Nashville. You know,
Mm.
and then this guy happened to walk in that was associated with the publisher,
Mm.
and he saw me playing, and he heard the story, what was going on, and he comes up to me and says, he goes, "Are you performing with anybody right now?" I said, "No." I said, I actually took a little time off to figure out where I'm going to go. And he goes, "How'd you like to play with Ronnie McDowell?" And I go, "Who's that?" Because
Roddy McDowell. Yeah.
yeah, and it was right before he had The King Is Gone, so he really wasn't, super well known yet, but he was known in Nashville. So I said, "Who's that?" And he goes, "Well, he's an up and coming singer and all that." So they sent me over to the Columbia Records building, and that's where his manager was. And I walked in and talked with him, and wound up doing a short tour with Ronnie and became friends with his manager. And that's when I decided that, hey, I've got to, rather than go to New York or any other place, Nashville is the place that I want to record
Mhm.
because it's so laid back and people are friendly, and it just really worked out well.
So you were working with Ronnie, and what was that like?
It was good. I mean, because I grew up a big Elvis fan, because he was one of the best Elvis impersonators in the country. Because he had a love for Elvis, I had a love for Elvis. We hooked it up and got along really well. So I went on tour with him, helped him out with the tour. Then when the tour was done, I headed back to Maine because I'm going, okay, this is my home base. I've got to figure out what I want to do and how I'm going to approach it. But the good thing is I got a lot of contacts in Nashville that opened the doors for me so that I could meet more people and network and start building what I wanted to do.
So who were some of those folks you ended up starting to work with of notes that we would
Well,
recognize? Yeah.
there was Bob Millsap was one,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
probably wouldn't recognize his name quite so much because he was kind of behind the scenes, working on the business side. He was the publisher. He actually published the song "You Needed Me" that Anne Murray cut.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
and so
Yeah.
so he was very instrumental. And then the other one was Gary Paxton, and he was the lead singer of the Argyles, Alley Oop, and a lot of those big hits. So both of them kind of took me under their wing and kind of mentored me a little bit and showed me how things were. And then after going back and forth to Nashville and releasing records independently myself, Bob set me down. He goes, "Look," he says, you know a good song, you know what to ask. He goes, "You're getting a better grasp of the business. We're getting ready to retire. Why don't you come down here and do what we do?" And I had to really think about it because at that point in time, I mean, I had I don't know 5 or 6 records out at radio that has done well, and I was hitting the charts, and I'm going, do I want to give up the road? Do I want to take and give up that dream of mine of becoming a note, someone that they'd be recognized as a singer, and a performer? And I kind of thought that, I probably will. And what kind of did it for me was I was in the studio and we were working on a project, and Gary was in there, and one of the session players comes up to me, "Hey, I saw your son yesterday." And Gary looked at him and he goes, "Oh, I didn't realize he was in town." So his son was like 20 years old, and because Gary had been on the road for so long and so much at any given time, he didn't really see his son grow up like most people do. So when I saw that and heard that, I said, that's not going to be me, because I had 2 young sons at the time, and I just wasn't going to go down that road. So that's when I made the decision to move to Nashville, because I could be home every night. I wasn't going to be out on the road till 2 o'clock in the morning, and it just kind of worked out that it was the best move for me. So I made the move in 1993.
And have not looked back since, right?
Yeah, everything's gone great. I can't
Yeah.
complain.
You've been very, very busy, and it's extraordinary, truly, how busy you have been. And a lot of the people that, again, you've had an opportunity to work with along the way. We've got some great photos here that we want to show. Um, Tell us about this one here. This is Bill Anderson, right?
Yeah. I was backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, and a good friend of mine was the guitar player for Bill. So I would go down and see them from time to time, and Bill would have his stories that he would tell, and that particular night there was a night that I took Bobby Wilson into the Opry. We were recording down there, and when I walked into the Grand Ole Opry with Bobby Wilson backstage, it was like I'd walked in there with Elvis. Everybody knew Jackie Wilson, and they wanted to see what his son was like, and I mean, so it was just I just saw a energy in the backstage that I hadn't seen for a while, and so so Bill was telling the stories, and it just that's that night, and it's just a great night, and that's the one great thing about going backstage to the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
all like family,
Look at this one,
it's
Ricky
great.
Skaggs, huh?
Yeah. Actually, with Ricky, I never did get a chance to work with him at all, but I'd written a song back in I don't know, like late '80s, and it was called Flat Top, and Ricky was listening to it, and he was thinking almost about cutting it, but there was
Oh,
one
really?
line. There was one line in the song that kind of threw him. It was about the flat top, and it said he never got to play it much. And he goes, but I'm a guitar player. He goes, and because a fabulous guitar player. So that kind of, and I wasn't going to change the line, because if I changed the line, it changed the whole concept of the song. So I lost my cut, but I still got a chance to meet him, and it was a great thing.
That is so cool. Again, a wonderful opportunity. Barbara Mandrell, of course.
Yeah, I met her at the country radio seminar that Nashville puts on once a year, and that was mid '80s that I met her.
She was fantastic, huh? Just warm and
Oh yeah,
affable, funny and friendly,
oh yeah, very friendly.
like Reba McEntire is. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Dolly
absolutely.
Parton, there's
Yeah,
something just about those personalities. Absolutely. Here's another cool one that we have here. George Hamilton, both
yeah,
Hamiltons. Yeah. Tell
yeah.
us about this.
George and I would sit backstage and just talk. We the stories that he had, and we'd talk about just music, and we just covered a lot. And his son was just as down to earth as he was. Just a real personable guy, and a great ambassador for country music.
That's fantastic. That's great. And that's what you need. You got to have people that are ambassadors for and, celebrating. Look at this one we have here. Lee Greenwood.
Yeah, that was back at a CRS event that we went to. Yeah, real good guy. Very pleasant. I've been very fortunate. I've been able to meet and be around a lot of well-known people. That's
Marie
done some good
Osmond.
things. Yeah, Marie. That was at another. I think that was a CRS event too. And for those that don't know, CRS is when it's usually held in anywhere from between January and March, and and Nashville puts it on once a year, and a lot of the stars will come in, and you'll go through, and they'll have seminars about different things that's going on in the music business, what change is going on, and a lot of stars will come in. You get a chance to kind of rub elbows and talk stories, and it just works out real good.
Cher.
Yeah, Cher was. I had an artist that was working with the Pentagon, and and we did a tour of the Walter Reed Hospital, and that particular day, there was me and my artist, Cher, and the New York Yankees, um, and we never got to meet each other at the Walter Reed. But I was working with the Fisher House, which is kind of like the Ronald McDonald house for veterans and their families, and so we went. So I was working there with the Fisher House, and Cher came over to meet some of the families of the veterans that were there at the Walter Reed. And when I heard that she was coming in, it was like, I'm going, oh man, I've been a Cher fan my whole life.
Mm.
And you always worry about meeting somebody that you really liked, because are they going to be what you expect them to be and what your perception of them is? And very, very good. Cher was exactly what I expected her to be.
Incredible, huh? Yeah, and isn't that great when that turns out to be the case? When
It
somebody,
is.
yeah, when somebody, I keep referencing a couple I've met, Cara Burnett and Florence Henderson, Aaron Neville, Judy Collins. They all matched what the hope was. It was all for interviews, PBS and other things, but they all met. And Kenny Rogers too
Yeah.
was very approachable and
Yeah, he was.
funny. David Foster has a wonderful sense of humor,
Yeah.
very quick-witted. Here's Charlie Daniels.
Yeah. That was another time that I was backstage, and I think it was a second time that I'd taken Bobby Wilson there, and so Charlie was he was a Jackie Wilson fan, and the good story about that was when he and Bobby got a picture together, he started singing a Jackie song, and Bobby looked at him and he goes, "You know that song?" And Charlie says, "Son, I was in the studio when your dad was cutting
When
that
your dad
song."
was actually doing the recording. That's something, huh?
Oh yeah, it was just the great stories that they'll tell you.
Some of the stories, I tell you, they just stand the test of time. Look at this, Crook and Chase. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they were great people.
they
Just
had that
very
great
personable.
series too.
Oh, they did. They did. They had their show going a long time. They did
That was on
well.
the Nashville network, right? Was
Yes.
it the TV network?
Yes. Yes.
Billy Blanks.
Yeah. Billy and I met. Uh, I was at the correspondence dinner
Oh,
up in Washington D.C.
that must have
and
been a blast. Who was the
oh,
president at the time?
that was when they actually kind of roasted George Bush.
It was
I
George
mean,
Bush, senior or junior?
Junior,
Yeah.
and I mean, it was just great. I mean, the room was filled with movie stars and
Mhm.
singers and actors and just
Comedians.
everybody. And
Yeah.
Billy was at my table, and got a chance to talk with him and meet him, and just a really good guy. Couldn't ask for a better guy to talk with.
Isn't that fantastic? Approachable and fun.
Yeah.
That's really the best when that happens. G. Gordon Liddy. Wow.
Yeah, that was at the correspondence dinner too. He was at the table, I think, next to us. Got a
Deep
chance to
Throat.
meet him and talk to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a good guy.
That's fantastic. Wow. That was nice, huh? To get a chance to
Yeah, it
chat.
was. Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible. Hey, Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Did you talk
that was
foreign affairs with him?
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. That was actually taken right before we went into the correspondence dinner. He happened to be out there, and we got a chance to talk a little bit and get some pictures, and yeah, real nice guy.
That is so cool. Good variety of people too. You've had an opportunity to meet
Oh
over the
yeah,
years, which is again the spice of life. Condoleezza Rice.
yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that she's a piano player as well.
Yes, she is.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we talked about that for a while.
Everybody has a story, right? Everybody has like some people like to do painting. Tony Bennett loves painting. I
Right.
mean, he's a brilliant artist. Some people don't see that aspect, but
Well,
uh, Wendy Malick.
the cool part about that
Yeah.
is I was working with, like I said, the Fisher House, and we was working with the Pentagon on and doing shows for retiring generals. And one night we had a pre-event dinner, and there was some people in there that was, I can't remember what star generals they were, but they were definitely high up. And we were all talking about different things and everything. And it's like, I want to hear their stories because everybody wants to hear a general story because they got
Oh,
a
yeah.
ton to tell. But the general and all the people around him wanted to hear my stories because I was in music. So it's kind of interesting that everybody has a story that somebody wants to hear.
You basically outranked the general that night. One of the few
Yeah, for
times
about
that you
5
can
minutes,
do
5
that.
seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the few times you can do it. I
Yeah.
mentioned Reba McEntire, and there she is.
Yeah, that was
Great photo of the
that was
two of
mid
you.
'80s.
Yeah.
We had a chance to meet at a function, and she and I are the same age, so we had things that we could talk about and
Similar.
discuss. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you immerse yourself in the Nashville community quickly, or were you still that Maine kid, that kid from the East Coast and the
It
Maine way?
it took me a while, because when I moved, I was I knew 2 or 3 people. I
That's
mean,
it.
I knew a few players. I knew, a couple different people that I'd worked with, but I really didn't know that many industry people. I only knew, Bob and Gary, as far as that. And Bob got sick, and he wound up moving I can't remember, to Texas, I think.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, we lost him. But I'll always remember what he told me before he left town. He says, "You can use my name to get through any door that you want to go." I said, "Okay." He goes, "Just remember one thing." I said, "What's that?" "When you close the door, you're on your own."
Mm, yeah.
And
Right.
I'm glad. And
Good
now
advice, huh?
it really was. And
Yeah.
I hated it that he got sick, and I hated he had to
Mm,
move. But ultimately, for my career, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it forced me to not rely on him and get out there and meet people and do things and start my own little network.
exactly right. And another one part of that is Vince Gill.
Yeah, yeah. Vince is a great guy. Um, um, Lenny Welch, if you remember him back in the '60s, he came to Nashville to meet his cousin, and he wound up spending most of the whole week with me, telling me Jackie Wilson stories, and I took him
Wow.
to studios and everything, and I took him backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, and when I walked in with him, I mean, because a lot of the people knew who he was and everything, and Vince happened to be there that night, so. After the show was over at the Opry, we all kind of went out back because they were closing everything up. And Vince, a background singer, Lenny, and me stood there probably for about an hour just shooting the breeze about
Mm,
music and different styles and how things have changed. And Vince is just a great guy.
that's so cool, huh? Walter Egan.
Yeah, he was doing a show down here in Nashville with a friend of mine, and I got invited to go to it. So I went down, and Walter is one of those guys that you forget how many songs that he had on the radio. Because people remember him for Magnet and Steel, and then he was up there playing, and then he went to another song. I'm going, holy crap, I forgot about that one. And then he sang another one. I'm going, man, I forgot that one. I mean, he had such a list of songs that had hit the radio that I
Yeah.
completely forgot about.
Right.
But really good guy. I mean, I haven't seen him in a while, but we kind of keep up with each other on Facebook and everything. So it's good guy to know.
Mm, there you go. From the NFL, Cedric Smith.
Yeah, his cousin was friends with Bobby, and Cedric was, and he told me, he says, "Man," he goes, "I'd really like you to produce my cousin." I said, "Well, who is he?" And he says, "Well, his name's Cedric Smith. He was running back for the Washington Redskins, and he retired with the Cardinals." And I said, "Yeah." So we wound up talking. We like each other, and so I wound up cutting 4 songs. He not only is he a great songwriter, but he is a great singer. And
See?
and
Who knew,
and
right?
what's that?
Who knew? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so we cut those songs, and then about 6 months later, he goes, "Man," he goes, "I thought I was going to wind up being in Nashville, and so that we could work together more, because he almost got hired by the Titans to be their strength and conditioning coach.
Wow.
Because he worked with the let's see, he worked with the Houston Texans, and he won an award there for conditioning coach of the year. Then because when they fired the head coach and changed everything, I can't remember, he wound up going to Baltimore. I can't remember if he went to Baltimore. I think he's with Denver now. But I mean, just a great guy, down to earth, great singer, great songwriter. But his love is, of course, football.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Jen Howard.
Oh, just a great lady. That was at the Nashville Palace. We was doing some show, and I can't remember what the charity was for, but we was doing, and that was when I was managing Milo Mason, and Jan was just such a treasure. Just a nice person to talk to. And I remember she would always look at me. She goes, she goes, I love talking to you, but it's just so darn loud in here.
Just a little bit turned up, right? Just a little turned up. Neil McCoy.
Yeah. Neil was out in Las Vegas doing a show and had Debbie come up on stage and sing a couple songs with him. Just real great guy.
Yes, absolutely. With a great voice, and he has sold a lot of records too.
Yes, he
albums.
has.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a big following. Here's another great one too in this mix, Sylvia.
Yeah, and she's still doing it. I mean, she's out there. She just said, I think she just finished a CD here a few months ago, and she's out there performing around different parts of the country, and she still sounds good.
That is so cool. That is so great. It's still out there doing it, which I think is awesome.
It is.
Yeah, right. It's a tough business. That's why, to have
it
it
is
happening. Deborah Allen and Mila Mason. Look what we have here.
Yeah, Deborah Allen. We were on. She had a Sirius XM show, and she had us on it when I was managing Mila, and Deborah's still out there singing, and she's got, man, I tell you, such a great voice and great personality, and she still sings, just as good as she did probably 20 years ago.
Isn't that fantastic?
It is.
The voice hangs in. That's a God-given plus.
It does.
Tim and Faith.
Yeah, that was at
yeah.
That was at the Correspondence Dinner. I think,
Faith Hill, of course. Yeah.
Nice people. Friends of mine have worked with her and Tim and we all always kind of missed each other, but we happened to be at that function together and got a chance to meet and talk a little bit.
Isn't that cool? That's fantastic.
It is.
When you get a chance to meet so many incredible people like this. And NASCAR, yes, Jeff Bodine. Wow.
Yeah, I was working with a singer of mine, and she was down here in Nashville doing a project, and Jeff was part of the show, and so got a chance to talk with him. Down to earth guy. Just couldn't. That's the great thing about most all these celebrities that I've met and had a chance to interact with. Just if you didn't know them as being celebrities, they're just regular people.
They're just regular people, right?
Yeah, just real easy to talk with. No attitudes. Just you can't ask for any for a better group of people.
Exactly. MC for a Motown event in Detroit. You even did that.
Yeah. I tell you, that was one of my favorite times, because when I signed Bobby Wilson, I had pretty much all of Motown and all the soul artists watching what I was doing. They wanted to see, okay, what's he going to do with Jackie Wilson's son? I mean, even Barry Gordy's office called me up and said, hey, we want a CD when it's done. We're watching, and talk about pressure. It's like, okay, This is going to be right. But this here was a show for Al Abrams, and Al Abrams was Motown's first PR director in 1959, and he had just passed away a year or so before that, and so they wanted to do an event in Detroit for him, And so I got to MC it, and because Al, I actually hired Al to do some PR work for me for Plateau Music when I was working on some of the Motown stuff. And one of the reasons why this was such a favorite time of mine that I'll always remember is because when I was 15 years old, I mean, I grew up with Motown. I listened to, the Temptations and Martha Reeves and, the Supremes and all those singers. And then all of a sudden I'm working, with some people that were associated with Motown, and a lot of those people that I grew up listening to are calling me and saying, "Hey, we got to find a way to work together." And it's like, I'm going, okay, people I grew up, wanted to do
It's
something.
incredible, huh?
Yeah.
There's Martha Reeves.
Yeah, she was there that night. Actually, we were talking at one time about doing a project together, but just the way things worked never happened. But it was just incredible to meet all those people and that I'd grown up listening to.
You were like a kid in a candy store.
It really was. It really was.
And somebody who's a friend of our show and a great guy, and he was on recently. Folks can see the episode archived right here on our YouTube channel, the one and only Tony Orlando.
Yeah, that was at the East Coast Music Awards show. They had just started this award show to pay tribute to all the doo-wop singers and singers of the past like that. And that was the first one. And Tony was there, and Tony and I had met a long time ago, and it'd been like years, and he walked through the door, and I was really surprised he remembered me, because he walked up to me and knew my name, and Bobby was standing beside me. He goes, "You know him?" I said, "Yeah, but I can't believe you remember me. It's been so damn long."
He's such a good guy, isn't he?
He
a lot
is.
of fun, a lot of energy,
really
a man
Yes.
with a lot of energy. And, he was president of the record company at one time.
Yeah.
And just his background is extraordinary. And he was a guest on our show, folks. So you can see the episode with Tony Orlando archived right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Charlie Thomas.
Yeah, great guy. Unfortunately, he's having some health issues right now, but really truly nice guy.
That's incredible. That's really incredible.
And now there's a picture that's not on there, but it's really kind of cool. Is that because I put it on my Facebook one time, and I was out at an award show that Motown put on for out in LA, and Dawn was out there. So I got a picture with them. I said, "It's not Tony Orlando."
Dawn
but
for
it's
Tony with Tony Orlando. And you got the Dawn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Larry King. Now we're talking the broadcasting world, of course, the late and legendary Larry King.
Yep, real good guy, easy to talk to. That was at the correspondence dinner where we got a chance to chat a little bit before the show. I've been very fortunate to meet and know get to know a lot of good people. Yeah, Gary. Yeah, that was one of the first times I'd worked with him back in the 80s.
Wow, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Well, what studio is that? Do you recall?
That one was his.
That was his own studio.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, this is a great story. What we did is we recorded it at a bigger studio, and this was back when you used 2-inch tape. This wasn't.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we recorded at the studio, and we took the 2-inch tape back to his studio, and then we worked the vocals and everything there. So he tells me where he lives, and I pull up to this house, and it's got the number on it and everything, and that was before Google and everything, and this boarded up. All the windows were boarded up. It looked like it was an abandoned house. And I was getting ready to leave, and then all of a sudden, around the corner walks Gary, and he waves and said, "Come on in, come on in." So half that house on the backside was lit up and windows and everything, and that was where he lived. And then you crossed into the other side, which was the front part of it, which was all boarded up, which is his studio.
Wow.
And he had it built in such a way that it would be soundproof and you wouldn't hear anything.
So
and
it was
part of that was
nondescript. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, so
didn't give away
Yeah, so when you drove up or looked at it, nobody bothered it because that's like who's going to bother this old house that looks like it's ready to fall in.
Exactly. And that's a very smart thing to do because of all the valuable equipment that he
Yeah,
had in there,
I
as you
mean you
can
can see that
see.
board right there. I mean that was a pretty expensive board at the time.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. You really don't want to have any issues with something like that, and to have that.
Exactly.
Yeah, great idea to have that. Cool stuff. Gary Paxton.
Yeah, yeah,
Really,
great
really
guy.
cool. Yeah, here's Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, yeah,
Really great.
she that was about the time that she was turning into doing more on the crossing over from the pop to the country and doing that thing. Really, really nice lady, was great singer, easy to be around, just real good.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, really fantastic. Sweethearts of the Rodeo.
Yeah, that was back in the 80s. That was
Somehow I
one
could
of the
tell.
yeah, that was back when they were, I mean, they were sweet. They named themselves right, Sweethearts, because that's what they were. Just
Mm,
really nice people.
that's so cool. Going down memory lane here on so many different
Yeah,
levels. Yeah, we showed Wendy too. I think you
yeah,
mentioned Wendy a little bit, right?
yeah. Well, she's just one of the actresses I got to meet, during some of those events that I went to. And the thing is, you see Wendy in some of these TV shows that she's been in, and when you actually meet her, I mean, just totally opposite. Very intelligent, very smart, just really nice person.
Really, really cool. It's great stuff. Really is fantastic stuff. And having an opportunity to share it with our audience here a little bit, going down memory lane.
Yeah, that's true.
What are some of the highlights? What are some of the things other than what we've just shown? What are some of the things when you look at your career that really stand out for you as very important opportunities, and maybe some of your own personal favorite projects and things you've had an opportunity to work on?
You know, um, it's kind of like when you ask a mother that has 5 kids, which kid is the best. They're all her kids. That she loves them all. And I've been very, very fortunate to work with a lot of really talented people. People that unfortunately don't have household names, and some people that do. But the one I think one of my highlights is all the Motown, the years I dealt with Motown, because I had 8 years there that I managed Bobby and produced him. And actually we're getting ready to take him back in the studio sometime next year and cut some new material. But those 8 years I got a chance to meet so many people that I grew up listening to, and a lot of them wanted to take and find a way that we could work together on projects,
Yeah.
and I got a chance to meet so many sons and daughters of legends that wanted to kind of do the same thing, but I just unfortunately didn't have the time to spread so thin, because I don't want to take and have too many people and not be able to give them what they need.
What they
you know
need, right.
yeah, so that was one, and because just the ability to work with so many people around the world. I mean, I've worked with people in Australia, because the UK,
You
parts of
mentioned that
Europe.
the UK and the
Yeah,
international connection that you have working with artists.
yeah. So I can't say that there's any one that's any better, but I mean, hey, I mean, actually, I can tell you what was pretty kind of cool to me was when I got introduced to Donnie Most. So when
Ralph Malph, Happy
Ralph
Days.
Mouth, yeah, so I mean, I watched Happy Days like everybody else, and here I get a phone call, knowing that Donnie's going to call me, and then on the other side I'm hearing Ralph Mouth talk. I'm going, wait a minute, this is Ralph Mouth. So it's kind of cool talking to someone that you can, even if you haven't met him, you've watched him on TV.
Yeah.
You know his voice, you
And
know
there
his
he is.
mannerisms, and it's and then just to have him in the studio
What a great singer he is, huh?
Oh yeah. Wait till you hear this new material we're going to put out. I mean, it is just fabulous.
That's it. When's that coming out? That's
Well,
exciting.
we just released a single this week here in the jazz radio across
Yeah,
the country here in the U.S. Um,
cool. That's
and
exciting.
and and remember "Smoke from a Distant Fire,"
Oh, yes.
Stanford Towns Band.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we completely changed that song arrangement wise so that you wouldn't probably don't even recognize it. I gave it a big band,
Treatment.
yeah, and when you hear it, it's we slowed it down and we gave it a lot of emotion. And when my promoters heard that, they said, "Man, you've got all these great standards." Then all of a sudden we hear "Smoke from a Distant Fire." Where did that come from? And they said, "Oh, this is just something that everybody's going to pick up on." And we're in the first week already, and we got just yesterday or the day before, I got a request for him to do a couple of bumpers for a couple of radio stations that are simulcast to like over 100 stations across the country. So it's started off with a bang. It's just really great.
Don Most, he's fantastic. For those who know Don Most, of course, he played Ralph Malph on Happy Days. He was a guest on the Jim Master Show Live for an epic conversation. You can see that episode archived here, as well as Potsy. Ensign Williams was with us as well.
Yeah, yes,
And
good guy.
Mrs. C, Marion Ross, she was a guest on our show as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And really, really fantastic people. Love to
And
get
she's still
Henry
doing well.
Winkler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's in her 90s. And her son,
Yeah.
Jim Meskimen, is a fantastic impressionist.
Yeah.
And he was a guest. Love to get Henry Winkler on. It would be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
To get Henry on. He's
Yeah.
He's an epic performer as well. In addition, you had an opportunity, as I mentioned, to work on this fabulous song that came out. That, and I was telling you about work that I've done to help with autism research,
Right.
emceeing a major Christmas event, concert event, holiday event at Carnegie Hall as master of ceremonies for my friend Tim Janis and his fabulous cast of fabulous characters who joined from all different backgrounds in television and film and music and stage and everything else. We have this here. We're going to show the because the copyright and everything, we'll show the visual, but maybe you can, as we're showing the visual, you can take us through the song, the purpose of it. The video features is dedicated to the artistic community of Nashville, Tennessee, but really this could apply to anybody, anywhere watching. It's Why Not Me? Tell us about the inspiration and purpose for this fabulous piece of work, Tony. Congratulations.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I've always believed that if you do well in business and things go your way, you've always got to give back. So back when the pandemic first started, I 6 or 7 years prior to that, maybe even more, I had started to work on my own CD just for the fun of it, just to give to friends, family, kids, grandkids, whatever. Nothing special, just something that I could say, hey, I did this, recently and all that. So it was spring of 2020, and the writer of Why Not Me, Dennis Welch, I had sent me a song, I don't know, 4 or 5 years prior that I'd recorded with another artist of mine, and so I heard the song and I immediately said, "This is me," because the song is about never giving up. There's no mountain too high. You just can, if you want to do it, you can do it. It doesn't matter when you do it; only matters that you do.
Yeah.
And that's what I spread on all my social media. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm always posting things that hopefully people will take in a very positive light and know that they can do things, and hopefully they can, kind of inspire them to do stuff. So I heard Why Not Me, and I recorded it, and then I added a steel in it to give it kind of that Eagles flavor, and when I added the steel in it, everybody automatically took it to the country market. Even though I hadn't really produced it that way, that was the perception that everybody got. So that's what I had to run with. so my promoters in New York, my promoters in Nashville, LA, because the promoters over in the UK, they all knew that I was working on my own personal CD, and they said, we got to hear this. What are you doing? Send us something. So I sent them my version of Why Not Me, and they all said, man, you got to release this. And I told them, I said, you're crazy. You are ultimately crazy. I'm not going back on the road. I'm not going to take and tour. Why would I want to do this? And they all came back and said to me, they said, look, there is not a song out there like it. It's very positive. People need to hear it. And so I said, well, okay. So I felt at the time, if I'm going to do something, I needed to do something to at least help somebody or bring attention to them. So I picked the first responders because I felt that, we was going through a pandemic, and the first responders, they're still out there doing their jobs, and they're having to deal with it. So I did that and wound up doing interviews around the country, around the world. And I did that video, got around 125,000 or so views. And then my promoters promoted it in the country, and it went number 2 on the independent charts and number 1 on the digital charts, and I said, well, okay, that was good. We had a good run with it. That's it. And then a few months later, I get a call, and she asked me, she says, can you do for us what you did for the first responders? And I said, well, who's us?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, she worked for speech therapy for autistic children. And I said, we could talk about it. So ultimately, I decided that if I was going to do that, I had to re-record it and give it that more adult contemporary pop version that I really envisioned before I added the steel to the other version. So I did, and I came out with this new arrangement, new song style, and recorded it. And then I came up with a friend of mine had done, probably back in around 2010 or maybe even before that. I can't remember when, but he had worked with an artist that her brother had got killed in Afghanistan. So she did a song, and then she did a video to pay tribute to her brother. And she got so many requests from that, can you do that for me, that she wound up doing multiple videos for multiple entities. And she wound up, I think, doing 10 or 12 and got, 500,000 hits on it. So I felt that I'm going to start out Why Not Me Nashville for the Autistic Society, and community. And I'm going, why don't I do that with this song? So I'm planning on doing what I call a video series on this.
Very nice.
Over a period of time, and I don't know what that time frame is going to be, but I'm going to take and go to St. Louis. I'm going to go to Orlando. I'm going to go to Boston.
All these different cities.
Yeah, I'm going to go hit different cities and do the same thing I did with this Nashville one, because I felt that we need to take and really bring more attention to autism. And there are some people that are autistic that will say, we don't need the attention. We're getting by just fine. Leave us alone. And I understand that, and I understand why they would say that. But this is to bring more awareness and understanding to those that can't function quite as well as some can, to help them. So I felt that I needed to show the whole spectrum of what autism is in my video. So I've got some people in that video that you can tell just by looking at the picture that they're having a rough time. Yeah. And then I've got some pictures and video clips in there that you can see they're working, they're doing, making transitions into the workforce. And then I've got a guitar player that's playing, and he's highly functional and has no problem whatsoever with his transition into the workforce. So my goal is to show how that this is a lifelong thing, because when someone is diagnosed with autism, it's not like some disease that you can take and get pills for and it goes
No,
away.
no.
This is a lifelong thing.
Hmm.
So when these kids get to 15 years old or 20 years old, they need some help to make that transition into the workforce so that they can take and
Yes, they
feel
do.
like everybody else does when they get a job.
Right.
So that's kind of what this whole thing is about, is to show everybody the wide spectrum that there is. But the biggest thing that I found in talking to people and talking to different people that deal with autism and deal with autistic people around the world is that people are aware of autism and people accept it. But most of the people, not all of them, they do not understand it.
Right.
Because it's something that you have to learn, just like anything else, on what causes it and how to act and react. So
Yeah,
April is Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month.
that's right.
So I made my slogan, why not me? Autism awareness, acceptance, and understanding. Because I'm hoping that through everything that I'm going to do, it will cause people to do more research about it, and they can help maybe understand what people have to go through, and that way they don't get bullied. And because one of the things I was talking with one guy was that he felt alone, and he would get bullied in high school, and part of the reason, maybe they're just bullies, but other part of the reason is they don't understand it. And what do people do when they don't understand something? They tend to try and make light of it or
Make
put people
fun of
down or
it, and
whatever.
right.
So my whole goal is to bring awareness, acceptance, and understanding. And if this can just help one person, then it's successful. And hopefully it helps more. But that's kind of what we're trying to do.
Where can people hear the actual song? Is it on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon? Can they go and get it?
Yes, it should be on iTunes and Amazon tomorrow. It should be on Spotify. It's tonight or tomorrow morning, because they can go to the YouTube and they can actually see both versions if they want. They can see the countryish version and the adult contemporary version. Pretty much anything that streams, it should be there.
That's fantastic. One of our viewers, Merlin in Canada, she asked, why autism? What is it about autism for you? Was it a situation where you knew folks that have autism? Is there anybody in the family that maybe it touched your life? Was there anything specific about the autism research that really hit your heart and soul?
Great question. Great question. Actually, one of the things that I found out is 1 in 7 people worldwide either know someone or has somebody that is autistic. So I fall in the category where I know people. I've got friends of mine that have autistic children that I've seen what their struggles have been and how they've had to deal with it, and how people don't understand it, and it kind of found me, because when I finished up that first video for the first responders, I had not planned on doing anything else. I felt that I'd done something to help people, and I was just going to go back to my production development and do what I do. And then when she called me up and asked me if I could do something, I had to really give it some thought. Is can I get into this thing and show people? Can I make a difference? Can I help? And because I didn't want to do something just to do something, I wanted to be able to get in there and find a way that I could really find a way to help people and do my due diligence that way. So after I talked with them and I talked with different people at different charities and find out what they do, I felt that it was a good fit, because it needs to be talked about, it needs to be discussed, it needs to be understood. And if I can help somebody, then that's the bottom line of what we're trying to do is help.
See, that's the key, right? That's absolutely key. And it's one of those simple things in life. Sometimes in our busy, crazy lives, we get caught up in the day to day that we forget to pay it forward or to help out. And,
Exactly.
we forget that there's always a situation where somebody else, for the little things that we get upset about. Okay, the call dropped, the Wi-Fi went down, I got a flat tire on
Exactly.
the highway, I got a sniffle today or whatever. Meanwhile, there are people that have a lot worse happening and a lot more dramatic things happening in their
Yes.
lives. And that, when you think about that, it sort of grounds you and settles you to say, you know what, I can do more. I can give back. We all should. I think we all absolutely should. And that's so absolutely important to do that. Toby's watching in California. She said, did you get starstruck or did you become a fanboy of anybody in particular? Can you ask Jim? So is there anybody that you were really, of all the people you met, really starstruck about, like, wow, I'm actually standing here right with this
Well,
person looking at me?
probably Cher. I mean, because I was a huge Sonny and Cher fan. I grew up listening to him, watching him on the TV show. I loved Cher's resonance in her vocal. Um, I just thought that she was, and then because she did the movies and turned into an actress, and I mean, she's just so out in front with everybody. And when I got a chance to meet her, it was like, okay, this is cool. Now
Pinch me
is
moment.
just hopefully, she is everything that I want her to be. And she was. So yeah, Cher was definitely a highlight of meeting somebody.
Congratulations on this project too, and a lot of our lovelies have been expressing that. The viewers watching and commenting in our JMS Lovely chat room. If you're enjoying this, folks, give this episode a like and leave a comment on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to Jim Masters TV, our YouTube channel, and enjoy almost 900 episodes we've done of our series so far. What are some other things that you're working on, Tony, as well, that you might want to tell us about?
Well, I'm working on because finishing up Donnie Most CD. That's working on pretty much done. I got a new single that's going to go out on in January in the UK with Debbie Campbell.
Fantastic.
And
Tell her I
I'm
said
gonna,
hello when you talk to her.
I will. And we're going to be doing some new music on Bobby, and then I got a little Christmas song I'm working on, to just kind of throw out there. I never did one, so now I've sang plenty on stage, but I never recorded one, so I'm doing that.
That'll be out for this holiday season?
Yeah, I'm hoping I can have it out in the
Great.
next couple of weeks.
Nice.
Just going to go up on iTunes. I'm not doing anything big with it. It's just something to have fun with.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Christmas music. We'll check that out. Yeah.
and that's the cool thing, I mean, I'm at a point in my life where I've done a lot of good things. I'm happy with what I've done. I'm not done by any means,
No,
but
right.
but what I do, I want to have fun with. I want to be
Yes.
able, and this Why Not Me project is I'm having fun with it, and I'm not only having fun with it, but I'm getting a chance to help people at the same time. So it's a win-win. And then I've my next year I'm planning on having a new video out by April for Autism Month. And I'm not sure which city it's going to be yet, but I know I've got 3 cities right now that I'm talking to that have said they want to help out. It's just a matter of which one we can get first to do it. St. Louis, Orlando, or Boston. Those are the kind of the 3 I'm kind of focusing on right now. And then I'm hoping that I'm working on some things to where I'm hoping that I can do something in the documentary world for autism, to bring more out there to help people. So I've got several things that I'm looking at, and hopefully they all can work out to where it does good for everybody.
That's so cool. That's really fun. And again, like you said, you're in a position where you can pick and choose the things that really speak to your soul and your heart, that really make a difference and leave the room better than you found it, which I think is absolutely an extraordinary sweet spot you're in right now in your life and long career. This is a cool photo we dug out. Tell us about this one.
Well, that's the CD cover from my Why Not Me album.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I was just looking around, exactly, I did a green screen on this one because I didn't know exactly what I wanted in the background. And then I found this picture and I'm going, boy, this fits because the first line in the song is about the mountain, so
Yes.
so it's like, okay, if I'm looking at the mountain, hopefully people will get it that this is a mountain I'm going to climb.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where that picture came from.
That's incredible. Wow. That would be quite a mountain. That's got a little bit of a peak to it.
Yeah, I
When,
can't say that
when
I've
you
been
when
up
you
to that one.
physically climb it, let me know, and we'll do a live broadcast when you reach the top. Back on the Jim Masters Show live update. Tony has reached the top.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think you have to worry about that call coming
No, I
in.
think you'd have to be one of the Wallendas to probably
Yeah.
scale
Yeah.
something like that one, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like to stay physically active, but
But
that's a little
but,
bit over
but
the
that one
top
there is a
because
little.
yeah.
Hey, look
Mm.
who's here joining us, Mr. George Burns
Oh
popping in.
yeah, I love him.
Yes, he always pops in on our show with his cigar and his red pocket square. He's loving the conversation, and he really thinks that what you're doing is amazing, giving back. I mean, working with all these great artists, helping to inspire them, to help motivate them and connect them through your resources, your networking, and of course with your own independent career. And you have the company Plateau Music, which I think is fantastic as well. He just absolutely has been loving this, and
That's great.
he sends you a thumbs up, and he says you're knocking it out of the park tonight. George Burns himself, huh? Not bad, huh?
Not bad. Not bad.
My aunt collected dolls, and this got passed down to me and the family. So he brought him on as sort of like a sidekick here on the Jim Masters Show.
Oh, well, then you'd like to know what my sidekick is in my studio.
Yes.
It's the Pink Panther. I've got a big one.
Is it? It's not with you, is it? Or
no, unfortunately,
yeah.
it's in another room. But
Yeah.
Back, if you remember back in the 80s when the Pink Panther was having movies and everything.
You know who he had on? We had Greg Field and Monica Mancini on our show, and of course, Greg is a prolific producer and
Right.
Married to Monica Mancini, Henry Mancini's daughter, and Henry, of
Right.
course,
Right.
penned that song for that film. Yeah,
Yeah.
Panther.
So Owens Corning at the time was doing this promotion of insulation, buy so many rolls of insulation, put it in your house or whatever. And so I had a friend of mine that was a rep. So I got two of the big ones, and I think I got 2 or 3 of the little ones. It's only like 12 inches, but that big one's about 3.5 foot tall. It's a pretty big one. So I keep them in my studio all the time.
That is so cool. What are some of the continued blessings and joys in your life that keep you moving forward in this vein with creativity and sharing your art, Tony?
Well, just the ability to work with so many different people. I did an interview here about a month ago, and I made a statement in it that part of my success is because I try and put out the best quality that I can, and in doing that, if you pay attention to the quality of the work that you put out, you
Yes.
never know who's watching. And then if you never know who's watching, you never know who's going to be around that next corner that say, hey, let's do something. So it's like I'll put things out on my Facebook, or I'll put things out on my website, or I'll do different things. And then all of a sudden I'll get out of nowhere, I'll get somebody that'll call me or send me an email, say, hey, I've been meaning to call you. I've been meaning to get in contact with you. Can we talk? Can we do this? And you just never know what's going to come your way. And being that and at first, when I was first down here, I was just in Nashville, and I was a nobody in Nashville. I mean, I didn't know that many people. I was struggling to make, get networks going and do that. And now
You went to restaurants asking for clam chowder and lobster, and they're like, "What?
Yeah,
Get out of here!"
exactly. And now I'm fortunate enough that I've worked with people in New York, LA, here in Nashville, over in the UK, so the net has become much broader for me, because I don't know now where they're going to come from,
Mhm.
let alone who it's going to be. So being in that spot to where I don't know who's going to call me. And when I do have somebody that calls me, the talent that I get to talk with, that just keeps driving me, because it's like, you're only as good as what you did yesterday. And it's kind
True.
of what did you do for me today? So
Right.
let's do something today so that tomorrow you can say, oh, well, yesterday was good. So I keep
Exactly.
driving forward and hoping that you know, it can just hit that pot of gold that you know, gets everything where I'm helping people. And you know, then at that point, you know, just keep working, keep putting out good material, helping people, whatever you can do.
That's right. Absolutely right. TonyMantor.com is the website. Check out the music, events, all kinds of cool things that he's working on. And again, iTunes and Amazon, you can get the song Why Not Me, which is really fantastic. Any final words? I hope the show met your expectations and you
Oh
enjoyed the
yeah,
time with me
absolutely.
as much as I have with you, Tony.
Well, you know, I love just being able to have conversation. You know, it's like this this has, you know, I was always told a long time ago that if you do interviews and it feels like it's like question answer, and it's just methodic, that it can be a good interview, but it's not going to come across as well. But when you can actually have a conversation, it comes across, people follow it, they get it, they like it, you never know what's going to be said. This was a great conversation. You know, that's the bottom line on this. And it's, I mean, our time has just gone by so quickly because of that.
In a New York minute. Absolutely. In a New York minute. Some of our lovelies, Toby in California, thanking you. Ms. Pat in Texas, thank you. Tony Mantor, what wonderful memories. You were taking her through memory lane with those
Yeah.
photos. Merlin in Canada, some of our lovelies that watch regularly. Tony, it's been great to meet you. All the luck in the world with all your endeavors. Sherry Larson in Kansas, USA. Thank you, Tony, for joining us tonight. Best wishes in all you do in the future. Love what you're doing for autism. Kathleen in New York City, thank you for being here, Tony. Uh, Merlin wanted to know also, is there anybody you'd still like to meet that's here with us now, or somebody as well that you wish you could have met that maybe isn't with us any longer?
Well, Chris, um, the one autograph that I've got hanging in my studio is because Elvis Presley. You know, and I was fortunate enough to know a few people around him, and and so I got the autograph and everything. But the unfortunate part was I never got that opportunity to meet him. He would have been one that I thought would have been really cool to meet. You know, because if you could just meet the guy backstage when he's not worried about the audience, not worried about anything, not worried about the cameras, not, you know, because when you stop and think about his life, it's like he couldn't go anywhere without getting swamped with people.
No,
When you have to buy out a movie theater just so you can watch a movie without being you know, overrun, you know.
then you know we've yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I mean, I would have liked to, you know, I've heard so many stories about him because I know people that was around him and everything, and how he was, you know, behind the scenes. He'd have been cool to meet. Um, you know, and I got several other people that I'd like to meet, and the cool thing about it is some of the things that I've got, I can't divulge right now, but some of the things that it looks like I'm going to have an opportunity to do next year will allow me to meet some of these people. So it's going to be kind of cool. So that's the great thing is you just keep working, you know,
Yeah,
and you just never know, you know, who, and you know what's really interesting, you never know who you're going to meet,
yeah,
but it's like I've had people that are celebrities that you know, it's like, okay, this would be kind of cool to meet this person and everything, and then you meet them and they say, oh, I've been waiting a long time to meet you, I've been following what you're doing. I'm going, really? You know, it's like you've been watching me. You know, it's like you never know who's watching you. You know,
exactly.
so
Right.
it's we're in a world right now, you know, with social media and everything that's going on. You just never know, you know, who you're going to meet, what their
Exactly.
thoughts are, and it's kind of cool to see, you know, see that in reverse. But I don't really look at myself as, you know, it's like if you know, if I wasn't me, I couldn't see me wanting to meet me. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I look at what I do is like, I had one person that got really nervous with me one time when I was talking to him about production and everything, and I could tell that they were nervous. And I said, "What are you so nervous about?" And they said, "Well, with everything that you've done, I'm kind of nervous. I don't want to say anything wrong." I said, "Look, I get up in the morning just like you do. The only difference is I work in music, and yeah, okay, I get a chance to meet some of the stars and everything, but they're exactly the same as we are, so I don't look at anything. I don't look at myself as anything special other than I do what I do, and it happens to be in music, and if I can help people along the way, then that's just an added bonus."
Well, one of the things you can check off your bucket list tonight is that you met Jim Masters, and I can
That's
check off
right.
my bucket list that I met Tony Mantor.
That's right. Exactly.
With all the lovities who've been watching, they already
Yeah, and
said
I
that you
appreciate
are.
that too.
They've already said you're a lovity on the Jim Masters Show Live. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I like that. I
The
like
world
that.
can certainly use a lot more of that. This was awesome, my friend. We're going to keep that porch light on for you, like I say to the guests, and really a pleasure to hear your journey, hear your story, the incredible things you're doing, all the years in the music industry, the dedication, the music itself, your passion for it, and of course, the cool projects you're working on now. Of course, your support of autism research and awareness, and just everything else that you're doing. We applaud you, my friend. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show Live series. It takes a village. We'd appreciate that. And we'll welcome you
Sure.
back anytime. You're a
Oh, I
pleasure to
appreciate
be.
it.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
it's great. I enjoyed being here.
oh, that's our pleasure. Absolutely our pleasure. Did you eat dinner yet?
No, it's just I grabbed a protein shake here, before, and I'm good.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, I tell the West Coast people, make sure you eat dinner before you come on the show. We chatted for an hour and 22 minutes. It didn't even feel
Wow.
like it, almost an hour and a
Yeah.
half, huh? It went
Yeah.
by that's the way I like it, just conversational. And
Exactly.
the viewers have been saying wonderful comments as well. So you be well, Tony. Congratulations on everything. And again, spread the word for us. And
I will.
we'll have you back. And we'll be looking also for that Christmas tune coming out too. And
Yeah. I'm
the
hoping.
holidays
I'm
are around
hoping
the
it'll be done in
corner.
a couple of weeks. I'm hoping a couple of weeks it'll be done. I can throw it up there.
Fantastic. TonyMantor.com is the website. The main boy makes good in Nashville. That's the
Yeah.
story tonight on the Jim Masters Show Live. You be well, my friend. It was a pleasure.
It was. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Next time, maybe when you're back, we'll have you play some tunes or something. We'll
Yeah.
treat it they love music, so we'll treat the audience to some music as well. Keep those lovities happy. Have a great night, my friend.
All right. You too. Thanks.
All right. Cheers. Tony Mantor joining us here, singer, songwriter extraordinaire, producer, CEO of Plateau Music there in Nashville, pianist extraordinaire, and really cool. Check out Why Not Me? Again, that fabulous song and the video as well. And, really brings awareness to autism, which I think is a really beautiful thing, absolutely beautiful thing when you're able to have a reason why you're doing what you're doing and to be able to share the talent and the art in such a positive way. That's what we try to do here at the Jim Masters Show Live series too, with my TV and radio background and sort of bringing it here to this platform after all the years on television, radio, and stage and film, which I'm still immersed in, and joining all of you with all these great guests and poignant moments, great entertainment, levity, everything we can throw at you. And it's so cool to have you guys here. Thanks for watching. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, slancha, hasta la vista, shalom, sayonara. Take care, my loop, and all the rest. And be good to one another. Take care of one another. Don't forget to love one another. And don't forget to take time for yourself. Love yourself as well. Thank you, Kathleen, as well. Good to have you here. And Toby in California. We got Kathleen on the East Coast in New York, and Toby on the West Coast in California. Really cool. And Toby says, my son's girlfriend is a teacher of autistic children, the younger ones. That's absolutely a beautiful thing. Giving back is what it's all about. And I'm a big believer in that, and have done that in my career as well, and continue to do that. And hopefully these shows not only entertain you, inform you, educate you, but also we have a good time. We're connected all around the world. That's what this is about. This is a big community of the lovely viewers. God bless to you as well, Ms. Pat in Texas. Absolutely as well. Upcoming shows, take a look at our YouTube channel. You can see some upcoming shows. and lots more on our YouTube channel. Here's a couple that are coming up for those who are watching live, because we realize you might be watching this 6 months from now because we archive everything. But for those that are watching live, here are a couple of upcoming shows. I have a big, massive television shoot, news television shoot tomorrow. So I'm going to be in the TV studio earning the bank and working hard with the television broadcasts that I have, TV news series. So I'll be in the studio tomorrow. On Saturday, guess who's with us? Billy Gaines is with us, two-time Dove Award-winning singer. He just worked on a fabulous project with Kathy Lee Gifford. He's also worked on a chart-topping song with one of our big fans of our show. She's been on our show, I'd say, 3 times now. Lacey Carpenter, you know, the brilliant fiddler, violinist. Yes, Saturday, join us. Billy Gaines is going to be here. It's going to be amazing. Then on Sunday, now that is 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific with Billy. On Sunday, Jessica Lynn, acclaimed country music artist Jessica Lynn, is going to be with us on Sunday. She has new music out as well. She's going to perform. That's going to be this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Really looking forward to that. Doug Legacy is joining us. Yes, he's co-founder of the Zydeco Party Band, multi-instrumentalist and producer. He's joining us as well. An incredible talent. Doug, well known. So you got Doug on Monday. You got Jessica on Sunday. You got Billy on Saturday. Yeah, really, really cool. And we had Tony Mantor tonight, and so many others that have been with us previously, and so many more to come here on the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. Give this episode a like. Hit that thumbs up you see on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment on the actual YouTube channel. Even though you've made a comment in the chat room, please do leave a comment on the YouTube channel as well. We appreciate that. And also YouTube sees it. And when they see that, they take the episodes and they allow more people to see them around the world. So when you give a thumbs up and you leave a comment, it actually helps our series in so many incredible ways. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. I know we mentioned that. For those who haven't yet, those of you who have, we thank you ever so much for your commitment, being a part of the JMS Lovity Squad, Lovity family, by subscribing. It doesn't cost anything as well when you do that. Yes, Billy Gaines is going to be fantastic. He's coming up. Thanks to everybody, Louie here and Merlin and Toby and Miss Pat in Texas and everybody watching all around the world, Kathleen, all of you. All right, that's a wrap. Great being with you. Good to have you here. I'm going to be making a phone call now to my nephew and godson. We're going to have a nice chat and looking forward to it. Holidays are coming up as well, so I'm going to scoot off. We got to chat with some family on the phone and catch up. Hope you have a great day wherever you're watching around the world, morning, noon, or night. We thank you for watching the Jim Masters Show series. Tell everybody you know about our series. We really appreciate that. Jim Masters here, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, it's always cool when you're joining us. We truly appreciate it, whether you're watching live or you're watching this Memorex, as we say, you're watching this later on. It really matters to us that you're here. Be well, gang. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Cheers.